You wake up on a pillow that doesn't smell like them anymore. You don't know if that's a relief or a loss. The sheets are twisted, the light too bright, and your chest feels like it's carrying someone else's weight. This morning, like the ones before it, begins with remembering. It's over, and for a moment your whole body forgets how to be. You used to wake up to messages, little blue notifications that said, "Good morning, troublemaker," or "I dreamed about you again." Now there's nothing. Just silence. Just a screen that stays blank no matter how long you stare. It wasn't supposed to end like this. Maybe not end at all. You had playlists, inside jokes, a shared Pinterest board full of cities you'd visit someday. You had quiet moments where you laid together without speaking because the silence felt sacred. And now, even the quiet hurts. No one prepared you for this kind of grief. They talk about death. They talk about mourning. But they don't talk about the strange, quiet way someone disappears from your life when they're still very much alive. When they're still posting stories, still laughing with friends, still out there, just not with you. You make coffee, not because you want it, but because the ritual keeps your hands busy. Stirring gives your brain something to do besides rewind. You used to make 2 cups, one with almond milk, one without. They hated almond milk. You didn't. You sit at the kitchen table with 1 mug and too many ghosts. And here's the part that makes your stomach twist. It wasn't even that long. It wasn't years of marriage. It wasn't moving in or meeting families. It wasn't what people would call serious. But God, it felt serious. It felt like something real. So now you find yourself defending your own pain. To yourself. To friends. To the mirror. You say things like, "I know it wasn't that deep," and "We weren't even official," and "I'm being dramatic," because you think minimizing it will shrink the ache. It doesn't. It's still there when you shower, when you walk past their favourite snack at the store, when you accidentally hear the song they sent you that one night when you couldn't sleep. You remember the way they looked at you like you were something rare, like they saw pieces of you no one else had bothered to notice. And now you feel invisible in your own skin. They moved on fast. Or maybe it just looks that way. Maybe their smiles are forced and their laughter hollow. Or maybe it's real and they're fine and you're the only one still bleeding. The worst part isn't even missing them. It's missing the version of yourself you were around them. You were softer, funnier, more open. Like someone finally flipped a switch and all the warmth you'd hidden away was allowed to come out. And now it's like you've lost both of you. You try to stay busy. You go on walks, scroll through apps, smile at your friends when they ask how you're doing. You tell them, "I'm fine, just tired," and they nod. Like that explains everything. It does, in a way. Because tired feels easier than saying, "I can't stop thinking about someone who no longer thinks about me." You wonder if they ever cared, if it was real, if you imagined all of it. Because if it was real, how could they leave so easily? How could they not fight for you? You reread your old messages, not to feel better, but to feel something. You zoom in on screenshots like they might reveal a clue you missed. Like maybe there was a warning sign, a sentence you misunderstood, a timestamp that could explain everything. But there's no answer there, just pixels and pain. You miss the little things. Their voice at 2 a.m, the way they said your name, the rhythm of conversations that had no real purpose but felt like home anyway. And in your quietest moments, you start to wonder if you'll ever feel that again. You want to hate them, want to be angry, but all you feel is hollow. And every time someone tells you, you'll find someone better, you want to scream. Because you don't want someone better, you want them. You want what you had, flawed and unfinished and messy and real. You want the feeling back, the one where you didn't have to pretend, the one where your smile wasn't a performance and your laughter wasn't forced, the one where even briefly it felt like you belonged somewhere. But now you're here, alone, aching and trying not to let it show. And maybe tomorrow you'll feel a little lighter. Maybe next week the song won't sting, maybe next month you won't wake up wondering what you did wrong. But today it hurts. Today you miss them. Today you mourn something no one else can see. And that's okay. It's okay to feel this. It's okay to grieve what never had a proper ending. Because love, even the kind that didn't last, still deserves to be felt. Even if it was short. even if it was quiet, even if it was never officially called love. You open the app, not to scroll, not to post, but to erase. Your finger hovers over the first photo. It's one of those casual ones. You're sitting on their lap. Their face is half in the frame. Yours is all teeth and laughter. Someone commented, "Goals." You stare at it. You don't feel like a goal now. You feel like an empty inbox and a weekend with no plans. You start deleting. Not all at once. That would be too obvious. You remove the story highlights first, the ones from your anniversary, the vacation, the time they brought you coffee during finals. You tell yourself it's just a cleanup, just digital hygiene. But deep down, you know what this is. This is mourning, this is grief with a touchscreen. You've been dating for years. People knew you as a unit. You were the couple that others rooted for. You had hashtags, inside jokes. You tagged each other in everything. Memes, reels, "This reminded me of you" quotes. And now every photo feels like a lie frozen in pixels. Not because it wasn't real, but because it didn't last. You delete more. Not because you're angry, but because looking at them feels like being punched in the chest by your own memories. You think about what people will say. You imagine the quiet DMs. "Are you guys okay?" Or, "I noticed you deleted your pictures. Everything good?" And you don't know how to answer. Because no, it's not good, and no, you're not okay. But also, you don't want to explain. Because how do you explain a heartbreak that hasn't even finished breaking? You scroll past their profile. Pretend you didn't just check it yesterday. Pretend you're not watching their stories with the volume down, heart in your throat. They look fine, smiling, out with friends, posting playlists and selfies and quotes about growth and new chapters. You close the app and cry. Not because they're happy, but because you're not. Because you feel like you're grieving in a glass box, visible to everyone but understood by no one. Because social media makes it all worse. You can't even hurt in peace. Some people post right after a breakup. Not pain, not truth, but polish. A new haircut. A healing caption. A brunch photo with a fake laugh and a geotag that screams, "Look at me! I'm fine!" And maybe they are. But maybe they're like you. Maybe they posted that picture right after crying on the bathroom floor. Maybe the smile came between sobs. You get it. We all perform after pain. Because pretending to be okay is easier than explaining why you're not. Because sadness is messy, and people don't always know how to respond to grief that isn't clean or cinematic. Because you're tired of being asked, "What happened?" Like there's a single sentence that could untangle years of love and loss. So you post too. Maybe not right away, maybe not something loud, just a subtle quote, a photo with new lighting. You want to look like you're handling it. You want to look like you're healing. But you still go to bed with your phone clutched to your chest, hoping for a message that won't come. And if you're honest, you're scared, not just of the loneliness, but of what comes next, of reintroducing yourself as a single person, of having to answer, "So what happened with you two?" Of starting over, again, of not being remembered as someone's favourite anymore. That's why this hurts so much, not just because you lost a partner, but because you lost the version of yourself that only existed with them. And now, everything is tangled. Your memories, your digital footprint, your identity. But here's why I made this video. To tell you that you're not weak for hurting. You're not dramatic for grieving. You're not alone in this quiet, complicated sadness. It's okay to miss them. It's okay to delete the photos. It's okay to scroll their profile and then cry into your pillow. It's okay to pretend you're fine in public and fall apart in private. It's okay to still love them, even if they've moved on. Breakups aren't clean. They're not just endings. They're reorganizations of your entire emotional blueprint. And healing isn't about pretending you're okay. It's about letting yourself feel it, fully, deeply, unapologetically. Even if no one claps for your heartbreak. Even if the world moves on faster than your heart does. Even if the pain doesn't look like anyone else's. So if you're here, watching this, maybe with tears in your eyes or your heart in your throat, I want you to know, you are not invisible. You're not crazy. You're not the only one who deletes photos and still dreams about the person you deleted. You're just someone who loved deeply, and that's not something to hide. There's no single day when it stops hurting, no neat line between heartbreak and healing. But one morning, you wake up and realise you didn't dream about them, and that feels like something. You still feel hollow, but the edges are softer now, like the sharpest grief has worn itself dull, like your body is learning how to carry the weight differently. This part of the journey isn't dramatic. It's not a montage of glow-ups or dance tracks or grand reinventions. It's quiet. It's waking up and brushing your teeth without crying. It's walking past a memory and not needing to stop and grieve it. It's noticing that your chest doesn't feel like it's caving in every time someone says their name. You're not over it. You're within it, still processing, still rebuilding. But something in you has shifted. You stop blaming yourself for what happened. You stop rewriting the story just to fit a softer ending. You let go, not because it stopped mattering, but because you're tired of holding it all alone. You start spending time alone again, not the lonely kind of alone, the honest kind, the kind where you learn what your face looks like when you're not performing for love, where your laugh comes out weird and unfiltered, where your silence is yours and no one else's. You take yourself on walks, you wear clothes they didn't like and somehow they feel better now. You make your favourite meal, and this time is not for two, it's just for you. And that doesn't feel sad. It feels like coming home. You think about dating again, not because you're ready, but because the idea doesn't make your stomach twist anymore. You know now, you're not looking for someone to save you, you're not looking to be chosen, you're just learning how to let someone see you again, without shrinking this time. You realise that healing isn't about forgetting them, it's about remembering you, the you that existed before them, the you that still exists after. You start to write again, or sing, or cook, or paint. You start doing things that don't have to be good or impressive or productive, they just have to be yours. And slowly, quietly, you feel parts of yourself return. You begin forgiving your past self, the one who stayed too long, the one who ignored red flags, the one who begged, texted, hoped, the one who loved with no exit plan. You stop shaming that version of you. They were doing the best they could with what they had. You were surviving, and you did. You talk to friends again. Let texts go unanswered a little less. Start answering with something more honest than, "I'm fine." You let people see the cracks. And here's the strange thing. The world doesn't fall apart when you're not pretending anymore. In fact, some people get closer. Some tell you, "I felt the same way." Some say, "Thank you for saying that out loud." And for the first time in a long time, your honesty doesn't feel like a burden. It feels like a bridge. You're not fully healed, not yet, but you're healing. And maybe that's enough for now. Maybe the point isn't to be done grieving, but to allow grief to walk beside you without letting it dictate your every step. You still miss them sometimes, that won't stop overnight, but you don't long for them the way you did. You don't crave their approval like air. You don't dream of shrinking yourself to fit what they needed, because now you're starting to need yourself. And that's the part they don't talk about, that healing is not about becoming new, it's about returning to what's true. It's about remembering who you were before you were trying so hard to be enough for someone else. So if you're listening to this, maybe crying quietly in your car, or watching under the covers after another long day, just know you're not late, you're not behind, you're not broken for still feeling this. You're healing in real time. And real healing isn't fast, it isn't linear, it isn't pretty, it's honest, it's brave, it's showing up for yourself, over and over, until your own voice feels like safety again. So no, maybe you're not over them yet, but you're not under the weight of their memory in the same way either. And that's progress, that's re-entry, that's hope in motion, that's you becoming again. Not for them, not for show, but for you. Only and finally for you.
You got through the night with no one to see, all the battles you fought silently. You kept breathing in, even when it hurt. That alone means you already know your worth. You're still here, and that means something. You're still whole, even when breaking. You've been soft in a world that taught you fear. But look at you now, you're still here. You loved like fire, you gave like rain. You showed up even through the pain. They may have left, but you remain. More you than you've ever been. You're still here, and that means something. You're still real, even when aching. You've been kind in a world that didn't hear, but you stayed anyway. You're still here. Let the world rush, let the noise be loud. You don't need to shine to make yourself proud. You just need to rise, one breath at a time. You're still here, and that's your story, not undone, just growing slowly.